Welcome to Hogwarts, above ground! Welcome back to building JKR's Wizarding World of Harry Potter in Minecraft with DragonflySara. Sorry for the hiatus, but since December I have had life catch up with me. I have finished the ground floor, and I wanted to shoot that video out to you today. We're going to do a detailed tour of the entrance to the castle because a lot of problems were solved in the building of this. We are also going to do a more general tour of the ground floor itself, showing you down, taking you down the passageways. Let's jump on in. Our heads could do with filling with some interesting stuff. Okay, first up today we are going to do an in-depth look at the entrance to Hogwarts because I solved a couple of puzzles in the process of building this with the help of Trebuchet and Dragonfly Carl. So first of all, we have our stairway that leads up from the boats. I've decorated that area so that it's not a hole in the ground. And I've made a way for, okay, so Hagrid, he comes up these steps with the first years. He passes them off to Professor McGonagall, right? And then he goes back down and takes care of the boats or something like that. And he magically appears in the back of the Great Hall, coming out of the anteroom. Well, I fixed that. If we go through this tunnel, through this passageway, it leads to a tunnel right here. And that tunnel goes all the way to a staircase that would be hidden behind a portrait in the anteroom. So here's the staircase coming out. And it would be hidden behind a portrait right there on the wall in this anteroom behind the teacher's table of the Great Hall. And so we've managed to get Hagrid in the castle from the boats without going in the castle. That was a bit challenging, but I did manage to pull it off. Second thing I pulled off is in the fourth book, the students are standing on the top of the stairs and they can see the Beauxbatons carriage come in over the forest. Well, that's not surprising. The forest is right there. But they can also see the Durmstrang ship coming in from the bottom of the lake. And the problem with that is that the lake is on the opposite side of the castle. So a second point of this tunnel is by raising up the Great Hall so that you have the steps going into the Great Hall. You have steps going into the Great Hall and making the Great Hall a separate building, which was not uncommon architecture. You can now see the lake through here. So some of the students standing on these steps would have been able to see both the carriage and the ship coming out of the lake before it went over to be moored. And at that point, all they could do was hear it. The next thing that's kind of interesting is, and I can't for the life of me remember which book it is. Sorry for that, guys. But when Harry first goes down to the kitchens, or maybe it's the fourth book, and he sees Cedric going down to his common room. Ooh, lag. He sees Cedric going down to his common room. He sees the kitchen door for the first time that he's never noticed before. Well, this is the kitchen staircase. The door hasn't been put in yet. But that's the kitchen staircase. And you can see if you're leaving from the Great Hall to go up the grand staircase, you'd pass over it and never see it. And if you're coming around from the grand staircase to Classroom 11, for instance, you'd never see that door. If you're going to the dungeons, you'd never see that door. The only time you would really see that door is about halfway down these staircases. This staircase, which someone in Gryffindor would probably never have to do. So I managed to fix the hidden door thing in the middle of the Great Hall by putting this walkway here, again with the entrance hall being at a different height than the main castle. And so I thought that was a rather unique way to do it. Again, thanks, shout out to Trabershear and Dragonfly Carl. You were both big helps in getting the architecture right for this ground floor. Here we are at the entrance to Hogwarts Castle. And as we saw earlier, the Great Hall is that way, and down these stairs is the kitchen and dungeon doors. Over here we have the antechamber where the first years wait and Peeves tortures them. When they're waiting for their entrance in the first in their first year. Here we have the staff room where Harry finds Professor Grublyplank to fix Hedwig's wing, and where the third years battle the boggart in the cupboard. And then this is the main hallway. Grublyplank's rooms are here, and whenever it says rooms like that, it's an office, a living room, a bedroom, and a lavatory. So this is for Grublyplank. And our first corridor off of here leads to Pince's rooms, a random classroom. We know those are scattered all over the castle. And Filch's quarters, and his will include a kitchenette in the main living area. So again, he doesn't have an office. Well, he does have an office, but it's elsewhere. Bedroom, lavatory, and this larger living area because he's going to get a little kitchenette. Filch doesn't have a seat at the faculty table. He has to eat somewhere, and he wouldn't be okay eating with the house elves. He's a squib. This is Filch's office. Let's see. Then we have this next corridor has a classroom. I'll be right back. There we go. This next corridor, which is now finished, has a random classroom. And these are Pince's and Filch's rooms on the other side of this long wall. And this corridor leads out to the courtyard. Okay, we're just going to pretend that Sarah didn't do that. Okay, we're going to be nice to Sarah. The courtyard stairs down and whatnot will be finished when we decorate the outside. On the other side, so this was Filch's office over here. Right here. Down the first corridor from him, we have the staff lavatory for this floor, and the girls' lavatory for this floor, and the transformation classroom, which we know is on the ground floor. Then we have Snape's storage, where he stores his alchemical supplies, and a random classroom. and Classroom 11, a bigger classroom that will of course be decorated in a forest theme for friends. And then here's the boys' lavatory for the floor. The last corridor has a classroom just past its entrance, and then 2 more classrooms at the end. So these are just bare bones rooms at the moment, and we will be editing them in sections. Like, we'll do all the classrooms at one time, and then we'll do Classroom 11 and Transfiguration Classroom, you know, those special classrooms, in separate episodes. But right now, this is what Hogwarts looks like. It's a massive build, and I hope you're enjoying the effort I'm putting into all of these little details. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Would you look at that? Isn't that just beautiful? Okay, that's it. Next time we'll be putting on the first floor. I need 2 more songs at least to finish the school song. I haven't heard from you, so I chose This Is Me by Kiala Settle and the Greatest Showman Ensemble for the next video, but I still need at least 2 more. Okay, like and subscribe, ring the bell, check me out on Facebook and Twitter, and download the latest map from planetminecraft.com. See y'all next time.